if you're with me thus far, you've done four things that are maybe a little bit different than what you've been doing. Number one, you said, well, I'm willing to become a different person. I'm going to put the yes buts down for a little bit, listen to Mackieman, and see if I can use some of these life hacks to raise my life force. So number two is you're aware of your life force as a barometer for how you're doing. It's a kind of a catch-all, if you will, one number that tells you a lot about yourself. If you're feeling full of energy and vitality, your life force is pretty good and you can tackle life. If your life force is depleted, everything seems impossible. It can be hard to brush your teeth, get out of bed and take a shower. It can be like, I took a shower. So, life force is the barometer. Number three, you realize that your life force is being decimated by this onslaught of shitty thoughts that chip away at it. Okay, and you say, wow, I didn't know. I thought it was, I'm a loser, my failures in life, the problems with my appearance, the fact that I'm not a successful social media influencer or whatever. So, no, it's not those things. It's the shitstorm that eats away at your life force. And number four, you said, hey, I can beat back that shitstorm by bitch slapping the beast in real time every second that it attacks me. And as you do that, you start to gain control of your life and your mind. So today we're going to do hack 3. And hack 3 is a pretty easy adjunct to hack 2. And you've noticed if you've been doing a lot of bitch slapping, and I certainly hope you have been doing a lot of bitch slapping the last few days, it can be exhausting. Sure, it's easier than cognitive behavioral therapy, and it's easier even than finding a thought that feels better, but it's still a little bit exhausting and can kind of put you in a crabby mood. Hopefully it didn't, but if it does, you're going to find diversions are helpful, because the purpose of diversions is to reduce the number of shitty thoughts per second or per minute of awareness. We're going to try to lower that. And how do we do that? The question is, when are we most likely to be attacked by the beast? And if you think about it, if you're really busy doing something like fixing a car or woodworking or gardening or playing music or even studying sometimes, you're less likely to be inundated with negative thoughts. It's when you daydream that the beast segues through a series of associations into something that starts attacking you. How often do we daydream? Researchers suggest that people daydream between, believe this or not, 47 and 70% of their waking awareness is spent daydreaming. So if we round that off and say half of your waking hours are spent daydreaming, that means you're daydreaming 8 hours a day, which gives the beast plenty of time to feed on you, right? So diversions are going to reduce the amount of time you spend daydreaming. That's how we cut down the micro slashes per hour. And you might say, well, Mackieman, this sounds like mindfulness. Be here now, the power of now, Buddha meditation techniques, and it's a little bit like mindfulness, but it's not exactly like mindfulness, because mindfulness means that whatever you're doing, you need to attend to. And some things are easy to attend to, and other things are so kind of routine that you end up daydreaming while you're doing them, like getting ready for work or school in the morning, or going through your nighttime routine, or preparing a meal. You start daydreaming and then you're off to the races and the beast is feeding. So we're going to increase the amount of time you spend during the day doing something that does not let you daydream. So those are called diversions. They're diverting you from daydreaming. And this could be any number of things. How you decide if it's a diversion or not is very simple. Is what I'm doing now fostering daydreaming and leading to microslashes? If an activity reduces the number of microslashes you have, I want you to do more of it. Because our goal right now is not to find a new career for you or a new love life. It's to try to cut down on microslashes, bitch slapping, and to keep your life force where it is so it will automatically start to improve. Take a minute and think about what are your favorite things to do that do not lead to microslashes. Let's say there are a couple of cautions I have for you here, because some things you think, well, maybe that's a fun thing for me to do, like video games is a great example. Or, surfing TikTok or Instagram. You think, oh, that's distracting me. But actually, if you get down to it, that might be giving the beast more ammunition to slash you with. Okay, so you want to be real careful about that. And if it happens to be scrolling through TikTok and you start feeling some micro slashes, you've got to stop doing that and go do something else. So one other caution I have for you is you can overdo diversion. And it could be riding your bike or running or playing video games, again, is a great example. It's okay if you do it to stop the micro slashes, but it's not going to be good if you do it all the time and you don't get anything else in life done. Let's be honest with ourselves about what's the purpose of the diversion we're doing. Is it to escape from the responsibilities of life, or is it to cut down on the micro slashes? And you'll notice that I didn't even mention drugs or alcohol because they're so easy to overdo. In moderation, they can be quite helpful, but it's so easy to trip over that border of useful into harmful, and they can put you into a black hole you might never get out of. So I'm not going to recommend drinking as a diversion or smoking endless amounts of marijuana or crystal meth, psychedelics, whatever. No. Temper yourself here because we're trying to get control of your life force. I wanted to give you an example of diversions and how I evolved this idea along a little bit. When I was having my most depressing, anxious time, I decided to hike up in the redwoods to, be more mindful and lower my stress. And I found that I was walking, a 2 or 3 hour hike through the redwoods. I spent most of the time processing my issues, so the walks weren't really that rewarding. And then I discovered an app from my local library that would let me download audiobooks for free. And I started downloading audiobooks to listen to while I was walking through the forest. That helped a little bit, but I started off with spiritual development and spiritual growth books, personal development books, and those, of course, would trigger associations about my own stuff, and I ended up processing my issues again. So it still didn't solve the problem of diverting the beast and cutting down on the micro slashes. So then I segued into historical fiction and crime novels, and I'd take my hike and wouldn't spend much time thinking about my issues. And it worked really well. I noticed that usually my mind would wander for 30 seconds, even up to a minute, and then I'd realize, whoa, I lost the train of the book, and I could back up 30 seconds and pick up where I left off on the book and give my attention to that. You'll notice, if you're thinking about what we're talking about, since we got from hack 1, where you notice your micro slashes, to bitch slapping the beast as hack 2, and now to diverting your attention away from any topic that gives the beast ammunition to feed on you, is we're trying to create sort of a moat around your consciousness, or make your mind a citadel that cannot be attacked. And this is starting to give you control of your mind. You're not your thoughts. You're the person who is perceiving these thoughts, and you have a choice on whether to give them any attention or life force. And now if you're through hack 3 with me, you're saying, hey, I control what value I give to anything that comes in. And I don't care if it's true. I don't care if my mother said it. I don't care if the pastor said it. I don't care if I saw it on social media. If it doesn't serve my life force, I'm not giving it any attention. I'm bitch slapping it away. So what's this going to do? Put you in control of your thoughts, which is really a pleasure. Okay, so we're going to wrap up on diversions right now. It's hack 3. Recall hack 1 is what? The micro slash hack, where you count those nasty slashes that you're taking from your thoughts. What's hack 2? Bitch slap the beast. We know all about that. Hack 3 is diversions, which is cutting down the number of micro slashes you're taking in an hour by focusing on things that cut down your daydreaming. Hack 4 is going to start to give you a little more sense of control over what's going on in your mind, and then ultimately you're going to use that to gain more control over what's going on in your world. Take a little break from me right now and from this series, and spend some time working on hacks 1, 2, and 3, because when you feel a sense of mastery that, hey, I'm beating back that storm and those micro slashes aren't hurting me the same, then we're going to move on to hack 4, which is called feeling good-ish. I look forward to seeing you then. Bye.